Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Part of American History TV this weekend on C-SPAN 3. Washington Journal continues.
And out on the Washington Journal is Representative Gwen, a Democrat from Wisconsin, currently in her 4th term. She's a member of the Budget Committee. Congresswoman, thank you for being on the Washington Journal.
Thank you so much for having me.
If we could start, the conversation we've been having a lot this morning is about what the President said about gay marriage yesterday to Robin Roberts. If we could get your comments on that.
You know, I can really appreciate his sort of confession that this has been an evolution over time, because I think he is speaking not only for himself but for many Americans. I think I'm 61 years old, and I can remember a time in my life when I thought that perhaps the homosexuals were not within the range of normal people, and I came to learn that they're regular, normal people, and that this is like being left-handed. 10% of the population are homosexuals, and I came to understand that these were our neighbors, our friends, our relatives, and you know, this was something that evolved over time, and that bigotry sort of falls away when you actually encounter people in your family and your work environment.
Is it an issue, gay marriage, that issue? Is that an issue in the 4th District of Wisconsin?
Well, we have gay people in the 4th Congressional District for sure. And, you know, I have, as long as I've been elected, always affirmed the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, the rights of everyone to experience equality. That seemed so clear to me as an elected official, that no matter what my personal beliefs were, no matter where I was on that evolutionary rung, that the 14th Amendment guaranteed equal protection to everyone.
Well, we invited you specifically to talk about what the House is going to be working on today, and this new budget reconciliation bill, or what exactly is the House going to be voting and debating on today?
Well, the House is going to be voting on a bill that's sort of being combined, and it really has two major components. The first component is really to tear down the sort of firewall that the Budget Control Act created, so that there would be a sequester requiring equal cuts between defense spending and non-defense spending. So one element of that bill sort of tears that wall down and disproportionately places most of the cuts on social services programs, food stamps, eliminates the social services block grant, which assists elderly, and really increases defense spending immediately and over time up to $60 billion more. So that's one thing that it does. The second thing that it does is it takes recommendations from 6 different committees. So the target of finding, you know, $100 billion in cuts has now gone over $300 billion in cuts. And so the Agricultural Committee, for example, was tasked with finding $30 billion in cuts. So instead of cutting, say, farm subsidies that go to wealthy corporate farms, not one penny was cut from those kind of corporate farmers, but instead all those cuts were taken from food stamps.
So does this, if this bill passes, and it's predicted to because it's
Absolutely.
a Republican-sponsored bill, does it negate the bill that passed last year, the sequestration bill that passed last year?
Well, that's the purpose of it. Now, the thing is that it won't, I don't think it'll fly in the Senate. The second portion of the bill is called a reconciliation bill. But the whole notion of a reconciliation is that you have to agree. And so a reconciliation bill would avoid the sort of filibuster rules. I don't want to get too far into the weeds with folk, but they won't be able to avoid a filibuster in the Senate because the Senate has not agreed on this package. And so I think that it's a real political document, but I do think that it really elucidates the differences in Democrats and Republicans. The Republicans here, again, are preserving and protecting defense spending, preserving and protecting tax breaks and tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans, and they are putting things like food stamps, Medicaid for nursing homes, Meals on Wheels for the elderly, that these are where they're taking their cuts. And I think they're making it, eminently clear to the American public where their priorities lie.
Gwen Moore is our guest, a graduate of Marquette University. She is in her 4th term representing the 4th District of Wisconsin, and she is a member of the Budget Committee. First call up for her comes from Tallahassee, Florida, Dimitri on our independent line. Good morning, Dimitri.
Hey, Miss Moore, how you doing?
How you doing, Dimitri?
I'm doing okay. I just wanted to thank you for the job that you do, ma'am. Up there in Congress, I know it's very trying right now. And I just wanted to see, did you have an opinion on what the president did? Of course, I agree with him 100%, because it's not about whether they should get mad. It's about civil rights. And I cannot vote against people's rights, ma'am. And thank you, Ron. And about this Trojan horse, this so-called bill, where the jobs bills at? That's what we want to talk about. Always.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Dimitri, on your last point. Where are the jobs? Absolutely, this bill focuses on slashing and burning benefits, and there are no job opportunities. As a matter of fact, it cuts job opportunities for folk like postal workers, for example. And to your point about civil rights, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that even though there are lots of risks for the president in stating his belief in the Constitution, in the 14th Amendment, that everyone has equal protection under the law, even though that's some political risk to him, I think it shows leadership that he has taken that risk and said, we just have to stand up for what's right and what is constitutional.
Representative Moore, have the Democrats crafted a budget bill this year?
Oh, absolutely. We put a budget bill on the floor which had a more balanced approach to meeting the budget goals. It raised revenues. Not one penny in the Republicans' bill asks anything of people who are better able to contribute to our economy. So we had a more balanced approach of making sacrifices, making cuts, in programs that are sacred cows to Democrats, but at the same time realizing that people who make over $1 million a year could pay more, and many have stated that they were willing to make those sacrifices for our beloved country.
Next call for Representative Gwen Moore comes from San Diego. Steve on our Republican line. You're on the Washington Journal.
Hi, Ms. Moore.